word discipleship is met with many reservations nowadays. We've grappled with so many things that we've lost in this season. A death of a loved one, a dream, a job, an old way of life, and yes, for some, an old way of how we've seen and known making disciples. E paano nga ba tayo mag-make disciples? We can't even see each other face to face. We can't even share a meal. We can't even be with each other for long conversations where the heart is seen and heard. We can't even shake each other's hands or hug each other. How can we make disciples when we ourselves are questioning God? I'm reminded of a passage in Acts 2:42. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching, to the fellowship, to the breaking of bread, and to prayer. Everyone was filled with awe, and many wonders and signs performed by the apostles. And as we grapple with the challenges, God brings us back to the core of the gospel, that He made a way for us to know what it is or what it means to love Him and to love people. And this is what inspires us. This is what makes us say, all of this is worth it. It's worth it to take whatever small steps we can connect, to ask how each other is, and to sow the Word of God and to witness it change the lives of people. Worth it because we get to know and love God more and more. And this is the story of Donna and Lenlie Lecaroz, who we get to talk to now, and how in pandemic, the inspiration to make disciples grew even stronger and stronger. Would like to say hi to Lenlie and Donna. Hello, kamusta kayo dyan? How are you guys doing?
Hi, Pastor Mike. Hello.
Great to see you kahit na virtual lamang, ano? And how are you guys doing?
Yes, indeed.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing very good. Isolated, but still learning how to isolate because of the situation.
Can you tell us about mga challenges that you guys faced leading your small group? Can you maybe top of mind share some of your challenges and how you were able to overcome those challenges?
Well, definitely, Pastor, with what we're experiencing right now, no, kasi we're in a remote place, we're on top of the mountain. Really, our internet
Outside of Metro Manila.
Outside Metro Manila, we are here in Marinduque, no, and on top of the mountain. Really, our Wi-Fi is very challenging. It's a challenge for us. Tapos meron pa kami mga brownout dito. I remember doing a session one time that I was right beside my pickup. Doon ako nagcha-charge, and on top of our place, no, nandun yung signal.
Hahanap ka ng parang, di ba parang yung mga antena ng TV dati?
You have to raise your arm para lumakas yung signal, parang ganon.
Ganon.
Yeah, literally.
So to address the bandwidth issue, we had to raise co-leads. It was actually a practical need. We needed to raise co-leads para just in case hindi kami pwedeng mag-lead, hindi naman mapapalya yung meets namin, because we were meeting weekly. No fail. Weekly since we started 5 years ago.
Wow.
No fail yung amin. Solid talaga, Pastor
Flex,
Mike. No?
flex. I'm flexing for you guys. Galing.
And I guess what's also good also, Pastor, that in spite that this, our members leading their own group already, we make it a point that we meet, just like old times. So kailangan ganun eh. And really, I think what's really happening, especially right now, that there are so many families within our members is really praying for each other.
At the onset of the pandemic, people were very against Zoom. Diba? May issue on Zoom. So may mga ayaw ng Zoom. So we tried really looking at every other platform. Siguro naka-anim na different platforms kami. But you have to really give it to grace. However, in that process, what I believe really helped us was, even prior to the pandemic, we really took to heart, Pastor Mike, yung challenge to take discipleship out of the meet right?
Wow.
Outside of the meat, how do we continue with the discipleship? And one of the things that I experimented with was yung squad devotional. So we would have a squad devo. Yung on new version, we would go through a devotional plan together.
Nice.
No pressure, whoever can. And then we also realized one other challenge was, di ba, talagang the emotional health, the
Mm,
mental health, di
yeah.
ba?
Mm.
So, ano din kami, where we would have just what we call squad hangs, di ba? Where we
Right.
would just hang out.
And to add to that, Pastor, no, on a light note, no, like Donna will also be, like sometimes we send food dun sa amin. Although kasi dito sa amin, kasi we're remote, no, we're in the mountains, so wala kaming delivery dito, wala kaming Lalamove, wala kaming Grab dito. So it's the other way around. So like let's say si Donna will send food
Oo.
to
Doon sa mga
whoever.
squad hangs namin,
So yun,
ganyan.
yung ano lang, a little something that really changes everything. Kasi I believe that's over and above well, of course, prayer, that's personal. And then, yung a little food na mapadala mo is something that they will really value and appreciate at that.
Nice. With many stories that you've shared, many examples that you talked to us about, how have you seen God guide you in this time?
Well, for me, Pastor, pag let's say we have a session, it's more of when you have this topic in mind that you are sharing. My experience, it's more for me. I mean, once you get really what you're going to share with the others, not with the rest, it's really the Word of God speaking to me. So it's something that that inspires me, the sense that that for me is the most how God really shows that He is there, He's present, and He's very near.
Sa akin naman, Pastor Mike, I've been a member of the Victory congregation for many years. And but I never really was discipled. Not for anything, but because my business required me to be overseas most of the time. And so it became first it became a practical problem, and then it became an excuse.
Oh.
Okay. So it was only also recently, I mean, with our particular victory group, that I got discipled. So what I've learned is, one, it's never too late to be used by God. And then number two, that there really is grace that's sufficient. So as I stepped up and said, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to step up. But I saw grace. Doon ko naintindihan, Pastor Mike, yung grace na all sufficient.
Yes.
Kasi lumaki yung need, lumaki yung grace, and it was really effortless.
Wow, amazing. Ramdam ko yung fire nyo tumatagos dito sa screen, ano? I am sure that leaders from our church who's been with us from the very beginning will be encouraged with your story. And to those who are, thinking about starting, especially at this time, or feeling siguro nila imposible to start at this time, to hear this story is really, really encouraging. I mean, to keep loving God, to keep remaining in God, and to keep loving God's people.